The following presentation was made to inform parents and community members about the benefits of Acuity testing. As you will find out shortly, Acuity is a great tool schools can use to check student understanding of material being taught and can be used to guide teachers and school corporations as well. Thank you for your interest, and I assure all of your questions will be answered by the end of this presentation. Acuity testing is used by schools as a means for assessment. But what is assessment? Assessment includes a broad set of activities where information is gathered and evaluations are made. Mostly, it refers to information and evaluation about students and their learning. Indiana schools have adopted an assessment that does just that. It is called Acuity. In easier terms to understand, Acuity is a test students take at different points of the year to assess their learning. Acuity goes a step further than traditional standardized tests because it offers valuable feedback. Acuity is a great asset for any school to adopt. Let's take a closer look at Acuity testing. The Indiana Department of Education's website states that the purpose of Acuity assessments is to provide diagnostic measures for grade 3 through 8 students in English language arts, mathematics, science, social studies, as well as students enrolled in Algebra 1 and English 10. The data is aligned with Indiana state standards to ensure students are learning what they should be. There are 3 types of Acuity testing, and schools decide which assessments they want to go with: predictive, diagnostic, and curriculum mapping. Predictive assessments. Predictive assessments are designed to mirror the iStep Plus blueprint. They are administered 3 times per year for English language arts and mathematics, and 2 times per year for science and social studies at the iStep Plus tested grade levels. Predictive assessments provide immediate results. This allows teachers to measure student growth, gain understanding of student strengths and areas in need of improvement, and it prepares students for upcoming iStep Plus testing. Visit www.acuityforschools.com for more information. Most importantly, predictive assessments allow for teacher intervention. It allows teachers to see where students are struggling and allows them to teach to those weak areas. That sounds pretty perfect, doesn't it? Let's take a look at diagnostic assessments now. Diagnostic assessments target and personalize instruction by assessing what has been taught. It allows teachers to know which concepts are most and least understood in their classrooms via a diagnostic report which is accessed after each test. These diagnostic reports are available in real time online, allowing instructors to adjust their instruction quickly. They are administered 4 times per year. Curriculum map. This is a diagnostic post-test which is aligned with the state-level curriculum map. What is a curriculum map? It addresses the total education of the students in the building by capturing the content, skills, and assessments taught in the classroom. That information is then organized into a visual that presents itself in a timeline of instruction. This is just another tool schools can use to understand where the students need to go next in their learning. Acuity results and feedback. Once the Acuity testing is complete, a student report is given back to the school. The data helps guide further instruction by pinpointing areas that students did not do so well in, improving student achievement. It provides a clear and measurable assessment of student understanding. It also provides specific information related to student performance on state standards. Most importantly, it helps teachers and administrators identify needs to adjust teaching instruction and review. This helps support the formative assessment process. But what is formative assessment? It is data collection that occurs during instruction. It guides teachers on instructional effectiveness, but can also let students know how they are doing. Typically, it is used to provide feedback to students and teachers about how instruction is going and does not affect student grades. This sounds a lot like Acuity, doesn't it? There are some criticisms of standardized testing. In 2010, the Advancement Project published a report entitled Test, Punish, and Push Out: How Zero Tolerance and High-Stakes Testing Funnel Use into the School-to-Prison Pipeline. Sounds pretty scary, right? In 1983, a publication called A Nation at Risk claimed schools were failing, and a push for greater school accountability was necessary to save students. This led to the use of standardized testing to measure achievement. You can stop this presentation and click here for a link to this article. It will also be listed in the down bar after this presentation. This article claims that schools have turned into a test prep factory, which turns students away from school. They also state that high-stakes testing hasn't been proven effective at improving student achievement. However, as we've learned so far, Acuity testing is designed to do just that, improve student achievement through the various testing that goes on during Acuity. In order for schools to develop enriched curricula, they must figure out what works right and what does not work. As we have found out in previous slides, Acuity testing aids in doing this. Acuity ensures a deep understanding of content because that is what is being tested, an understanding of content knowledge. One cannot agree with this school-to-prison pipeline when it comes to Acuity testing because it is set up to help student learning, not turn students away from schools. Formative assessment and useful feedback. As we have discovered thus far, Acuity is used to provide feedback in authentic formative assessment. So what makes the assessment a formative assessment and the feedback useful, and how does this tie into Acuity? Douglas Fisher and Nancy Frey discuss formative assessment in their article, Checking for Understanding. Grant Wiggins explores useful feedback in Chapter 3 of his book, Educative Assessment. Frey and Fisher discuss formative assessment and the importance of checking for understanding while doing these formative assessments. Students will never succeed unless they have a clear understanding of the material being presented to them. Acuity testing is a means to check for this understanding, therefore benefiting the students' learning immensely. Feedback has the same benefits. You should look at Acuity as another means of feedback for the students. Wiggins states that feedback is essential to learning because it shows where students are struggling and where they are succeeding. Here's a quote: "The best feedback is highly specific, directly revealing, or highly descriptive of what actually resulted, clear to the performer, and available or offered in terms of specific targets and standard." As we have learned so far, this sounds identical to what Acuity testing does. From all the information gathered and presented here, it is easy to see the impact it has on student learning, teacher instruction, and administration accountability. Student learning is benefited by Acuity because it is pinpointing where students are struggling so that they will get more help with that area. Teacher instruction is also benefited by Acuity because post-test reports show where students need help, allowing teachers to tweak their instruction as needed. Administration is benefiting because these tests are aligned with state standards, ensuring they are aligned with what the state needs from them. In the end, Acuity testing is the most beneficial to student learning. It provides a formative assessment with highly effective feedback to make sure students are learning to their best potential. And that's what we want, right?